everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Aintika and today I'm going to discuss about my favorite books of 2020. Yes, I have read a lot amount of books in 2020 rather than the previous years, but I have chosen only a few, only those books which will be suitable for the advanced readers as well as for the beginners. They are not the big fat books which can scare you, but these are the moderate books. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I'm going to talk about is The Atomic Habits by James Clear. You must have heard a lot about this book, and this book is indeed a gem, and I would recommend it to everyone. I reread these books from time to time, and I go back to those paragraphs which I had marked while I was reading it for the very first time, and it is intensely and extremely rewarding. So what James Clear says is that our habits acts like atoms, small atoms. So if we try to inculcate those atom like good habits into our lifestyle, then it has definitely the potential to change our lifestyle. So what he talks about is that changes should not be drastic, it should be small, it should be pleasant, it should be rewarding, so that we go on making the changes again and again, and hence get the result. So it's just like working out. For the very first time, we don't like to work out, we don't like to give so much stress to our body, we just like to stay cozy and warm inside our beds, especially in the winter season. But if we make up our mind and get out of the beds and start working out, the first day it will be hard for us, but if we do it again and again and start getting the benefits of working out, then definitely we start working out every day. So he also gives us tips and tricks as to how to say no to the big fat bad habits. He also talks about the unexpected power of the 2-minute rule and provides us with examples of life of some leading CEOs, some distinguished scientists and Olympic gold medalists. So this book is definitely a transformative book. If you give it a try, then definitely it has the capacity to change your life, to change your career and relationship, and take it from here to here. So do give this book a try. The next book is The Satapur Moonstone by Sujata Mase. This is a mind-blowing book with a mind-blowing plot and the perfect protagonist. Now, I just stumbled upon this book by chance and it literally took me by surprise. I mean, I got so excited and happy by the time I ended this book, that I literally brought all the thrillers written by the author and I completed it at one go. So in this book, the author brings alive the aura of the bygone era, when feminism was not even a buzzword, with utmost dexterity. So this book revolves around the life of a Parsi woman who is a solicitor in Bombay. She is an attorney by profession. So she had to travel to Satapur, where the royal ladies were squandering over the education of would-be crown prince, and she had to go there to settle the fight in between them. But she is caught in between the cold-blooded power play, and on the one hand she had to save the heir from getting killed, and on the other hand she had to catch the culprit or the criminal. So I think a perfect backdrop is the perfect backbone for a very good thriller. Believe me, before reading this book, I had no idea of the rich culture of the Parsi community in India. But this book provides with a beautiful description of the Parsi community. Now, when I say that the book is mind-blowing, it's not only because the plot is extremely strong and convincing, but also the bygone era, the colonial Bombay, is described uniquely and is flawless. This book is extremely well researched and is very much apt for the beginners to start their reading journey. Three Impossible Wishes by Arman Malik. Guys, you got to keep this book in your TBR list. This book is extremely a hilarious one. This is love at first sight with exquisite chatty writing style. Very easy to read and understand. You can enjoy this book with a warm cup of tea, coffee, and with some cakes, jams, and jellies. So this book is about a girl called Arya Mahatani, who is a student in the University of Westlake, but she is extremely confused about her life, her career, her relationships. So she was struggling extremely hard to pass the basic level of accounting paper, but was failing so badly at it, and she feared that she would be deported to India, much to the dismay of her father. And on the other hand, she was badly and madly in love with a guy called Sahil Malhotra, who was a dude from South Delhi, who in turn was a complete wreck because his girlfriend got married to someone else. So there is also a guy called Vladimir, who was the first boy in their class, but Arya got on a wrong foot from the very first day at the university. In the long run, she had to take help from Vladimir in order to pass the examination and avoid the catastrophe of getting deported to India. Apart from being extremely amusing, Anmol Malik also stresses on self-love and self-worth. Now, when you read this book, the chapters are named after some delicious and heartwarming desserts, which will obviously make your reading a pleasurable experience and will definitely make your stomach growl greedily. Let me read a part of it so that you can understand what I'm trying to imply. So, gleaming like jewels, there were plump, juicy sultanas inside, candied orange peels and ginger, chopped and roasted almonds, cashews, pistachios, all the luxurious dried fruits and nuts gorgeously soaked in spices, and golden brandy that offered just the right amount of warmth and sweetness. Dollops of creamy chocolate and warm caramel held the layers together. Each mouthful of the glorious cake was different, sometimes cinnamony and nutmeggy, at other times crunchy and juicy. Ooh, I'm starving. So what I'm saying is that this book is very much apt for everyone, from the advanced readers as well as for the beginners. So please guys, please read this book. You won't be disappointed. Moving on to the next book, Lalan Sweets by Shrishti Chaudhary. So if reading freaks you out, read this one. This is in an extremely lucid language, light read, very much easy to understand, and is next to a Bollywood script, because let's face it, we all love Bollywood plots. So this book is about a girl called Tara Taneja who lives with her family at a small town in Siaka, and she had to fight for the ownership of a sweet shop, Lalan Sweets, with her cousins, and which is now owned by her grandfather. But the task is not an easy peasy task, and it's rather a very difficult one, because she had to bypass the shrewdness of her uncle and the cousins, who are hell bent on throwing her out of the competition. So thus begins her journey. She had to find out the secret ingredient of laddus of the Lalan Sweets, which makes them so unique and delicious. So one fine morning, she ventured out of her house with her best friend Niku on a stolen Fiat. The events which started to follow were hilarious, frightening, confusing, and were the tadka or the seasoning to the plot. Niku was also Tara Taneja's best friend and crush. So they go out on a search of the secret ingredient, and the quest takes them from Mathura to Ludhiana, and on their journey Tara Taneja meets with a lot of interesting characters which are directly or indirectly linked with her family, and also comes in face to face with her long lost feelings, or I should say lingering feelings, for her best friend. So read this book if you are a complete fan of Bollywood. This book won't disappoint you. How I Braved Anandi by Varun Agarwal. Now, this book is based on a true story and is completely a beginner friendly book. Now, we all know that how kickstarting a business from scratch in an Indian family is very much looked down upon, and the interference and the snooping of the aunties in our neighborhood and our relatives makes the work even more harder. So, this book is about a 20-year-old boy, Varun, who wants to start his own company. He doesn't want to pursue the stereotypic paths of lawyer or doctor and engineer, but he wants to listen to his calling and pursue entrepreneurship as his career. This decision of his brings a lot of unwanted attention from the neighborhood aunties, and they sneer at his decision of entrepreneurship and decides to make his work harder for him. But Varun just decides to dodge all the nefarious attempts of the so-called Anu auntie, and also decides to beat her in her own game. On the process, he learns how to manage a business. He learns the science of e-commerce and what it takes to become a successful business person. So this is a hilarious book where knowledge is imparted to the readers with some extra bonus points for all the budding entrepreneurs. So if you are thinking of starting your own business, then do definitely give this book a try. Moving on to the next one, The Land of the Moonlit Snows and the Other Travel Stories from the Indian Himalayas by Gaurav Punj, is the exact book you need to start planning for your breathtaking treks if you haven't trekked before. Now, he is the group leader who leads the group of tourists and trekkers and has penned down his real life experiences with them, which is no less than a fiction. Now, this book talks about the ferocious nature of the mountains, of the wilderness in the mountains, the snow-clad passes, now the escapes in the unknown villages, and about the mountain people, their food, their habits, their culture are treat to devour. There are humorous stories which will make your stomach ache, and also some dangerous ones which will make you bite your nails. So if you are a travel buff and want to plan for your upcoming vacation, or even if you are not a travel buff and a couch potato instead, do give this book a try. It's a gem, and I assure you, by the time you end this book, all the couch potatoes over there will definitely pack your bags and hit the road. This book is very easy to read and has been written in a lucid language. Now, Gaurav Punj talks about sustainable tourism and what are the responsibilities of us as a tourist that we should undertake to keep our ecosystem clean, which is a plus. And he also provides us with a detailed itinerary and actionable information to make it easier for us to plan our vacations. So definitely read this book. That's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because that is completely free. And the books mentioned, their links are given in the description box below. So read in between the lines. Signing off for today. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, be happy and keep reading.